Start recording. How's it going, bros? My name is.
Oh God.
Welcome back for a very special session, a 3.5 in between session with only one person. So all the pressure is on you, Paper.
Hi.
Hello, there's Paper.
Look, Mom, I'm
And
on TV.
look, Mom, I'm on TV. Yeah, you were absent in a previous session, and I had some stuff planned for you, and we're just gonna do it here and now.
Sounds good.
So, without further ado, can you hear the background shit that I put up?
The spooky ambiance music.
The spooky ambiance. Yes. Perfect. Okay, so let's get started. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that bell, and subscribe to my Patreon where you get a 1 week free trial for more
Oh,
content. Yeah.
oh, brother.
uh, I don't care about growth. I
Yeah.
really don't. I'm only putting this here for convenience. But yeah. So, brief recap, I guess. You just recently watched the previous VOD.
Yeah.
Uh, Basically, they all spent the night in an old keep, and some old
It's
lady
yeah, the trope of spend the night in a haunted house.
spend the night in a haunted house, and some old lady with way too much time on her hands created like this huge like lore about the place, and it got everybody a little spooked, but it was all just a made up story. Except for
And
the
she would have
fact,
gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids.
yeah, except for the fact that for some odd reason, Marius Skyblood and Holden were both forced to confront their own personal demons as they manifested into a corporeal form. And as the spirit
Hold on a
ghost,
second. Sorry. I'm
yeah, no
getting
problem.
called real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, Paper's getting a call. I'm just doing a recap. And the spirit force ghost of Iraq's ghost mentor, Yulong Drake, was basically like, yeah, the ethereal realm is bleeding into this location, and I'm not sure why. It could be because of something in particular. And then they had a very nice conversation the entire night. Hello, Tears of Lost Socks. I'm glad you can make it.
Hey.
This is a solo session, like I just explained to the recording, because two people had to
Oh,
cancel.
sorry.
No. You're good. You're good. You can talk during this. We're just chatting for now. Uh, I was just explaining that I have all this shit planned, and I figured if Paper's free, we'll do it since it all revolves around him. Tears of Lost Socks, I am addressing you directly.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing? How you feeling?
Tired.
Tired? Just gonna throw on some of me yapping in the background.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Questions will be answered. That is the theme of this session of sorts. Questions will be answered. And they will be answers to questions that many people did not have, but that they have implications for the entire setting. Every party, every D&D group, all the players, all the characters. This is interesting knowledge that you will all have. I mean, you wouldn't know in character, but as players, you're like, oh, I'm aware that that's a thing now, basically. But yeah, Paper's doing a call. I have a massive case of Dos Equis in my fridge that I need to get through quickly. So I guess I'm gonna go grab one now since we were waiting. Even though it's like 2 p.m. But who cares? It's not like I'm doing anything today. I can drink in the privacy of my own home if I want. What is your preferred beer of choice, Socks?
Um.
Sorry about that.
You a beer drinker?
mm, I'm okay with some Miller Lite.
Miller, huh?
Yeah,
I don't
I don't
remember if
drink too much beer, but if I do
I drink
drink it, I
Guinness.
just want it for just to get a little buzz.
I'm the same way. I only do it socially most of the time, or if like I'm in a good mood. I'm not an alcoholic, I promise, but
Mm.
I usually like to taste it. I like it to go down and have a nice aftertaste, and I like it to have results. And it's usually like I don't want to get plastered. I just want to have a nice fuzzy feeling, and then I get to go to bed, and that's my day. I like Sapporo. Uh, that one's really good. Though I tried the canned Sapporo that they import, and it was good, but it wasn't as good as the time that I had it on tap. Because I mean everything's better on tap. I had Blue Moon on tap once, and it was so fucking good, man. Have you ever had Blue Moon?
No,
Oh man, you should try it sometime.
I'll make a note of that.
I mean, it's just name. Have you tried name brand this? No, try name brand that. I mean,
I always have name brand for my choice of brand beer.
I'm only saying this because I have a person I knew from college who like got really deep into beer making, like where he actually made his own beer, like in his own apartment dormitory. And I just know that if he were in the call with us, he would probably go on a long ass autistic tangent about, well, we get the malt and the barley and this and that, and then you do the, and it's just like I don't know. I mean, I drank a Coors once. There you go. you know.
You see, this beer has light undertones and an earthy flavor.
So yeah, I don't claim to be some connoisseur. I just think, oh, this is name brand. It tastes good.
Um, okay, beer making and tasting will never get as pretentious as wine tasting.
True. And I've had wine. I've had a fair share of wine. I honestly don't prefer it's just grape juice with a little bit of a bite in the back. Like so I can't get into it as much as drinking beer, you know? Like if I drink a glass of wine, I'm like, "Ooh, I'm so fancy," but I'm not thinking, "Oh yeah, let's get a buzz," cuz it never happens. You know? It's just like, "Oh, I've had wine because it goes good with the steak and then I drank it and okay." Like even when my mom's like, "Oh, this is a very expensive and very good bottle of wine," and I drink it, and it's just like, "Yeah, it's all right." Anyway,
Bitter grape juice.
Yeah, I do get wine on occasion because it's perfect for marinating steak.
yeah, of course. That's the primary reason I would ever drink wine is it goes good with the
Just
meat.
like how beer can be good for boiling bratwursts.
Oh yeah, beer in combination with like any of that kind of food is just one.
Any
That's
German
living life.
food. It's
Yeah,
weird. It's almost like they made it to be paired with beer.
I know, right? Yeah, let me go grab one. Dos Equis.
Yeah.
This is how I know I could be a streamer if I wanted to.
Your copious amounts of tangent juice.
Because I can just fucking go. This is also helping me warm up the chops, though.
No worries. Yeah, sorry. Of course, last minute family has to bother me for something
Yeah, very speak of the
right after we
devil.
start.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No problem, though. We're all here. We're all queer. It's 23
Hey,
minutes.
speak for yourself, buddy.
We're all a little bit gay. I think, who said that? David Bowie? He makes good music. I trust his opinions on things.
That R. Kelly guy, he made some good music. I trust him.
Yeah.
My legal counsel has advised me not to say anything on record.
Oh, do you guys ever just like smell it, the beer?
What,
Hell yeah.
skunk?
Not an alcoholic, by the way.
Not an alcoholic. But when you get it in bottles and you pop the cap and just smell it, you're like, oh yeah.
You ever just put
What, like
both of your
something
nostrils
crawled in your
up
room and
to the
died? Is that what
bottle
you're
and just take a
saying?
huge whiff?
Take a big
I like
whiff
to
of
smell
that.
Dos Equis smells like skunk.
Nah, it smells like malt and it goes down easy. Anyway,
Speak-
welcome,
Read
welcome,
it,
welcome, 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 welcome. Paper. It is your time,
Ahmad.
or rather, Kadash's time. So,
Fighting the urge to make it "it's time to duel" joke.
it's time to. Okay, let's be serious now. Let's hit the lights. Crank up that fucking atmospheric shit. That
Put some music on it, soft and slow.
yeah, light some candles. Sit on the couch and
Maybe
hold
lock the
hands.
doors and turn the lights
got it.
down low. Start the music, it's soft and slow.
Wonderful, lovely. Yeah, you have a. God damn it! I fucked it up. Anyway, gonna make me laugh. Anyway, so Kadash, you are shoved to the ground and you land on your face into the cobblestone. You get a taste of dust up in your mouth. Your side hurts where you landed.
What did I land on?
As your eyes begin to adjust, you see just through the blur of your vision a large causeway made of the same gray stone, sort of mismatched as if large rocks were just thrown about and scattered with no sense of order. And there they lay and became this thoroughfare of sorts. And all around you, you see crowds and crowds of people. Indistinct, their features undefinable. And large shadows casting over you. It seems are buildings? You can only make out so much in the pale moonlight, just as it struggles and fights to break through the overcast sky. You're in a city. A bustling, busy, vast city.
Wasn't I in a small port town? How did I get here?
As you're lying there on the ground, all you can hear is the sound of footsteps clacking against the cobblestone and the captured whispers and interspersed voices of an entire crowd, an unnumbered mass of people. None of it is distinguishable or makes any sort of sense to you.
Sounds very disorienting.
It is making you very dizzy. And no matter how much you try and focus your vision, rub your eyes, the corners of your vision just seem very blurry and indistinct.
Maybe some might say dreamlike, maybe?
You feel very disconnected by yourself. But in any sense, you do feel the harsh, cold rock beneath your hands pressing up against you. It is very real to the touch.
Let me pinch myself to see if I'm dreaming.
You do so. It hurts a bit.
So, not dreaming. Where am I? I try and see if there's any landmarks that I might recognize.
You look around at the architecture. All of the buildings surround you like a great forest. They are larger, more robust, and constructed of unique architecture unlike any you've ever seen before. You know for a fact that this city is something that you've never seen in life, and yet it is also oddly familiar to you. It feels new, almost timeless, neo-Gothic and Art Nouveau in styling. If you pick up my terms, you know what I mean. You can, if you don't know what that means, you can.
40K.
You could Google search. Hey, you could Google search it and kind of get what I mean. Very Art Nouveau, stained glass windows that you can't quite see through, but are coated in grime and dust.
Yeah. So like a dirty religious capital almost.
Indeed.
Kind of feeling.
Large townhouses of multiple windows and grand vast doors of rotted wooden structure, but everything that lasts is made of that same gray stone. And as I mentioned before, there's just nothing. The entire causeway is full with crowded people moving and going about in various directions, up and down alleyways, down the large causeway, moving past you like the flows of a river over a rock. They don't even seem to know or acknowledge you're there.
Try and see if I can notice a path with least resistance to move around. Or it would be best if I start moving, because it's probably best if I don't stay still. Because if I stay still, I'm just gonna stay confused. If I start moving, there's a chance I might recognize something, or at least understand some sort of direction.
So you get up. And before you know it, despite minor protestations, you feel yourself walking along the crowd as if being swept away in this vast river. Most of the people that you're brushing up against feel real, feel physical. And yet as you turn to look at them, you can blatantly see through them to the various people around you, to the buildings beyond even them.
Am I dead?
They don't have faces.
Oh, that's decently concerning.
It's not like Slender Man, because that's cringe, but they have the contours of eyes and a nose and a mouth, but it's as if you aren't focusing on an image. And
So it's like there is a concept.
they seem
kind of
indistinct to you, yes.
Could I make an Arcana check?
Sure.
Figure out what's going on.
Sure. Let's roll the first D20 of our solo session.
Well, that's not good.
What did you get? It didn't show up in my thing.
I got a 7.
Ah, there it
A
is.
9 total.
You can't, for the life of you, understand what this is, though you do feel a perturbation, a sense of things being unreal and yet real, as if a cold chill is crawling across your back. This sense of finality, as you're all being pushed forward down this long cobblestone causeway. Eventually, the road ends into a massive processional that goes in a great grand circle. And at its center is a massive stone structure that stretches higher and taller than all of the buildings that are around you. It seems to be a fountain.
Do I see? I'd like to look around at the fountain. Do I see like a pedestal with perhaps some text on it or anything, or a plaque?
So as you move with the crowd in a great circle, you're pushing your way closer to this fountain fixture at the center. The base of the fountain almost seems to be like a massive flower. It just has these round, circular, petal-like structures. There's no plaques of any kind, but as you get closer, you realize that the fountain itself is made out of sculptures of things. Animals, humans, gargoyles, and many various other types of monsters you don't even recognize.
Do I see any engravings at all? That could be words.
Okay, let's hit the investigation button. Yeah.
For some reason, it's very like.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Well,
So, you do a few circuits around this fountain, and you recognize a few things. All of the figures, humans, seem to be either bowing in obeisance in prayer or gazing up at the featureless, overcast skyline as if in terror of some grand god, vindictive, reaching out to punish them. While the other creatures themselves, although embodying various forms and identities that you may recognize, only seem to adopt those features as a guise, as if these things aren't truly real, but are just describing thoughts and imaginings and figments, demons and angels together. You see in the arms of one stone statue of a person, someone who seems to be clutching a plaque. They are draped in robes as if they are the makers of law, and scratched upon this plaque is one word:
words.
You get shoved again by the crowd. You just hear indistinctly in an echo, "Watch it!" as they move
Hold on a
past
second.
you. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Another phone call. I'm gonna take a swig of this beer.
Have to run upstairs. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Socks.
Hey.
Every time Paper has to leave, I'm just gonna talk to you.
Okay.
Thoughts?
None right now. I'm still waking up.
Okay. How late were you up, man?
Oh, I was playing Helldivers.
Oh, of course you were. that flavor of the month game that everybody's playing.
Yeah. This one seems to be lasting a lot longer.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, there's a new flavor of the month game out right now called Content Warning.
yeah, I mean, I liked that game when Pippa played it.
Yeah, it seems fun, but mechanics are very bare bones. Right now, it needs a lot more to keep people playing it. So I'm thinking it's going to be another flavor of the month.
I do agree. I actually like it more than Lethal Company, to be honest, because it has more of like they're obviously having fun and they're leaning in on the satire of the genre more. And when it's being played by streamers who know the whole content thing, it just kind of lends itself to funny humor like that, you know?
Sorry, I keep getting told to be an errand boy. It's getting annoying.
Okay. You gonna be good? Or we could...
Yeah, I just might get interrupted every so often to run upstairs to do some annoying shit.
Hear that, Socks? That means we're gonna talk more in the future. I just like to... I'm like, so, Socks? Now that we're waiting on paper, we just talk about shit. Anyway. So you get shoved again. It seems that to cease moving is to work against the tide. This one mutters out, "Watch it!" as you're getting pressed and pushed around as you're standing by this large fountain. It, like I said, it is taller than all of the buildings that have been closing in on you this entire time. And those buildings themselves were also tall. You've never seen so many two-story buildings put together in one place. It's as if this is just a vast mecca, an urbanite paradise unlike any you've ever seen or even read about before. You hear tell of cities that approach this size in the free nations of 𝐂𝐡, but this somehow blows them all out of the water. Kneeling down, kind of on the other side, there's actually a group of people who are down on one knee, all in a line, as if in prayer. One arm is rested on their right knee as it's out, and on their left arm they're holding a large harpoon with fishing line draped around it.
Should I go investigate? I feel like I should. I'm gonna try and get closer to get a better look at it.
As you move around the fountain a bit more, there's about 5 of them, and they're all in a similar position, clutching these large harpoons, which are 4 times their size, stretching far up, almost about halfway the length of the fountain above you. And they're gripping it in desperation, as if in penitence or prayer. And you can see the contours of their mouths moving and mumbling something, but it's getting lost in the noise of the crowd. As you approach, one of them looks up at you, not with eyes, but with a black void where eyes would be, as if you're trying to visualize eyes there, but the detail involved in that requires too much focus and effort on your part, and thus they're simply just dots.
So either I'm only semi-conscious or I'm in some sort of place where I can't, or it's beyond my comprehension.
Or both.
Yeah.
I always love the both answer to those kinds of questions. But they start mumbling to you as if they're speaking to you, but it's as if speaking through a wall. You can make out that they're addressing you, but the words are just muffled.
Can I try and focus on the words?
Sure. We can roll for this for fun, or you can just say you took a minute to do that. I like to click clack dice though, so if you want to click clack dice.
I feel like this is probably something more important, so I feel like it's best to pause and kind of take my time to decipher.
Okay.
I love click clack math rocks too, but I feel like this is probably something that's not ideal to leave up to the dice gods.
Okay. You can hear a gruffs and gravelly sound of an older man saying mid-sentence, "No more water. There's no more water in the fountain. She said she'd meet me here in that place of our dreams, that great city. Do you know what this is, boy? Do you know what this is?"
What is?
Do you know what they call this place?
No, tell me.
It is the inevitable city. Impossible. Ever winding a labyrinth of souls. An inward torment. And there you see, and he points beyond, up into the sky, further north in the direction where everyone is walking towards. There in that great tower, that great fortress of memory, is where she is.
I look over to where you're directing my attention.
It's difficult to see at first. However, as you do your best to focus, you see brushing itself out of the shadows as if a large gnarled finger pointing up into the sky in defiance, lit from behind by the pale moonlight, a vast tower, crumpled and decrepit yet obviously functional. It rises higher than any other structure. And before you know it, the words have left upon your lips as if some secret knowledge has been put there. Letherna.
How do I spell that? So that seems to be the name of the tower? Or place?
That is what this all is. It's everywhere, everything, all around us and in our minds. He seems to be on the verge of tears, sobbing.
I was so tempted to make... Oh! The Dark Tower.
You were tempted, I see. We must go to the tower quickly, before they find us.
Lead the way.
I cannot. My fate is here, you understand. Go with the crowd. Beseech the Great Mother.
One second, let me look at my... This is a long shot, but I'm going to try something. I would like to attempt to spare the dying on him.
As
And I say, oh, okay.
no, what are you gonna say? Go ahead.
No, I wait to see how it happens first.
So you reach out, and as your hand brushes against the leathery jacket draped around him, some sort of fishing uniform, you feel the contact on your skin before you pass through it. I was chosen for this. Anyway, go ahead.
So he's there, but he's not quite there. Like, he exists, but he doesn't. So he's chosen for this. This is his destiny. What was he saying?
My fate is to fish here. Yours is there. And they point to the tower again.
I'll say many thanks. I wish you good luck. Peace be with you.
As you begin to break away from him, the features of his face seem to disappear and become blank once more. You kind of bump into the crowd again as it swallows you up. And you begin walking again. Against your will, even. For to stop walking is to be thrown to the ground again. Closer and closer to that tower.
I kind of survey my surroundings as I make my way towards the tower.
As you get closer, you notice that the buildings become more and more decrepit and ruined, coated in dust and rubble, as if
You say it feels like there's more decay present?
Perhaps, as if some great war had broken out here long ago and has continued to remain in disrepair. When you hear a voice at the back of your mind, as if right behind you, Samus.
I spin around. What did it say? I couldn't.
That's the only name you'll hear. Samus. It means the end and the death. Samus. I am Samus.
Samus or Seamus?
Samus. Samus is all around you. Samus is the man beside you.
I'm curious to how it'll work out. I'm not gonna cast Eldritch Blast, but I'm gonna try and channel some of the energy into my hand to try and see how it manifests without putting enough focus into it to cast it out.
Okay. And how did you say that manifests again?
I was thinking just the usual black bolts, maybe with some slightly either kind of sickly green crackling lightning, or kind of a gaseous, whichever you think would be more appropriate for whatever my patrons like.
So you kind of
Either a slight like kind of sickly fog, or like a just kind of a gross kind of greenish lightning with the kind of black energy.
as you throw your hand out and whisper the somatic components in order to harness your energy, you see a glow appear on the palm of your hand, begin to manifest, and the whispering begin to cease before a new voice, as if calling from a far distance away, is yelling, "Turn left, my boy! Left!" As the entire crowd unanimously starts running.
I'm going to turn left.
So you break away, you immediately turn left, you have to shove aside a few people who are fallen upon the ground. There's no screams, only the sudden shuffling of feet as you hear Samus.
I feel like I would more weave between them rather than shove. My strength isn't very high, but my dexterity is decent, so I feel like my character would more weave.
You're bobbing and weaving.
Yeah.
I am Samus. Samus is the man around you. Samus is the man beside you. Samus will gnaw on your bones. Look out! Samus is here!
I'm going to.
Don't look at him, old boy.
Uh,
Just keep running. That building there in front of you.
I'm going to attempt to use Mask of Many Faces, disguise self at will, to try and blend in with these faceless, kind of weird-looking creature things. To maybe try and throw off whoever might be pursuing me, and at risk of needing it later, I'm going to, out of feeling a necessity, cast Expeditious Retreat.
Really using up all those spells, eh? Love it.
Well, the disguise self is at will, and it doesn't use the spell slot.
No, I just mean you're using your full repertoire is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, no thank you. So, you feel yourself speeding up, dodging as best you can through the crowd, occasionally bumping into a few as they rush past you like a great sea of minnows being guided into a trap. Into this one great, vast, and decrepit building that seems no different from any of the others you passed through. The great wooden doors, twice your height, are cracked open a bit.
I'm going to approach cautiously.
You are running.
Okay. Well, as
Remember,
cautiously as I can while running as fast as I can.
Expeditious retreat and all that.
Yeah.
You hear the sounds of wailing and crying rise in volume behind you as you approach this vast door that's opened before you.
I make sure to not look in the direction of the wailing.
Hurry up! Before he sees you!
I dive into the open gate doorway.
Shut the door!
I shut the door. What? Where? Who are you?
As the large wooden door clangs shut, you hear its vast echo go about this massive grand hall with it's a huge marble court
Yeah.
with a marble stair that goes up to a second floor and various wings of a great mansion. All of the windows are boarded up, and it seems as if this residence of great opulence has long since been abandoned, but everything is left.
Can I see any of the stained glass through the boards at all?
Yes.
Can I see what kind of depictions are in these windows?
It's not exactly stained glass. It's just like very fine. Like I don't know what you'd call it. Like it's a type of glass that's just very finely wrought. Very, very neo-Gothic, like I said.
Okay. So it's not really depicting anything. It's just a fancy window.
It's very fancy. Like you can evidently tell even by the material of the glass that, oh yes, this is not your run-of-the-mill random glass blower guy who made a window for you. This was.
So is it? So would you say it's mostly large pieces?
Very large,
Okay.
but they're all boarded up.
Okay. I was trying to see if there might be any clues to what the building would have been.
The entire interior of this massive mansion, for what you would assume is nobility, is just coated in dust.
I kind of pull my cloak up over my face to kind of try and mask myself from some of the dust.
Well, good gods above. It's a good thing I got you when I did. Now then.
I look around for the source of the voice.
Now that we're in relative safety, it is about time I introduced myself.
That would be nice. You seem to know me, but I don't seem to know you.
Yes, I've known you for some time now. Glad that we could finally meet in person. Above you, on the second floor landing, approaching out from the doorway to I think it'd be the west wing, is a strange glow. It's a pinkish glow.
I feel compelled to drop my disguised self. Not quite sure why, but for some reason I seem to trust this energy, this being.
And it is Pipkin Pip. No, I'm just kidding. Coming out from behind the doorway to present themselves before you on the second floor landing, rather unceremoniously and without any panache or sense of ceremony or grandeur, a flat, saucer-like creature floating in the air,
Be not afraid.
draping about with numerous amounts of tentacles flapping about, and two massive eye stalks. Just floats out before you. There's a small. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I do some sort of check to see if I recognize what this thing is?
Yeah, go ahead. You can roll Arcana.
I feel like it's like. No, it's not a single eye.
It looks like a jellyfish with the eyes of a snail.
Is it a mind flare? Not a mind flare. Okay, well I got 21, so.
21? Well, snap plus 10.
21.
21? Yeah. You remember in Sakaram, long ago, hearing about from the tales of a very drunk Svirfneblin, which is a deep gnome.
Flying spaghetti monster.
Tales of these benevolent, pacifistic creatures known as flumps.
Ah, it's a flump.
These jellyfish-type entities that exist within the Underdark and feed off of the emotions and memories of other humanoids.
Yeah.
They are always cordial, helpful, good.
So this must be my patron?
You're not sure. But let me finish describing him.
Okay.
This,
What
Well-
color is he?
he's currently glowing a luminescent pink. And he has a small circular hole at his center on the top side of the flat saucer of his body, and a pair of 6-inch long eye stalks on either side of the central hole, and numerous tentacles with small spikes growing out of its underside.
Would I, based off that 21, would I know what his color means?
You seem to remember that the Svrfneblin would talk about how flumps would glow a certain color to match their mood. Pink being amusement. He then floats down. You hear the sound of air exiting from a cushion, and the dust in the room kind of displaces around the flat saucer.
Like RCS, kind of?
RCS?
RCS thrusters, reaction control.
I think so. I'm not sure. I've never heard of
Just
that.
little puffs of air or gas to change direction.
Yeah, there. You see little jets of air shoot out from underneath the rim of the saucer of the body as it pushes itself along the causeway. It's continuing to affix you with its long gaze. And inside the body, you can see strange fluids and substances moving about as if being pushed by air through thick goo. And every so often, the sound of a quiet whistle and exhalation of air, similar to the sound of its namesake, Flumph. Most bizarre of all, however, is that positioned between the eye stalks of this Flumph is a top hat. And slung around the left eye is a monocle affixed to a long silver chain.
I comment, well, aren't you a fine gentleman?
What I am, good sir. And one of its tentacles moves up to adjust the monocle and then take off the top hat and present it before you as a bunch of jets of air shoot out from its underside to simulate a bow. The name is Floggerstock. It is a pleasure to meet you finally, Kadash. And this is what he looks like. That's basically his official art.
And then, but one eye has a monocle on it, and he has a little top
With a
hat.
monocle and top hat, yep.
Well then. I can't help but feel slightly amused, but intrigued.
You must be very confused right now.
You could say that. Mainly, how did I get here? Where am I? I mean, I know I'm in the inevitable city. That's what I've gathered. But
Well, my fine
what's
fellow.
the proper name? Is the Thurn the Tower or the city's name?
You hear another quiet whistle of air escape him as he leaps over the railing, and for a second you think, oh, he's jumped, but he just gracefully floats down and almost seems to innately levitate a few inches up off the ground. His tentacles are just flopping about at random. You must think that I have all the answers. After all, and he gestures to the ring on your finger, I'm the one who gave you your power.
I had a feeling that was the case. I guess thank you. Nice to meet you.
Oh, think nothing of it, dear boy.
I mean, it sure helped me make a lot of money. I'm not sure how you feel about that.
Well, I
Kinda got in a
must,
pickle and don't exactly have that anymore.
I must admit that I always preferred the memories and thoughts of those who are on the straight and narrow. But they also say that the best food eaten is the one fought for. And so I did my best to guide you along the right ways, and whenever you would choose them, oh, how tasty those memories were. I must thank you as well. If not for discovering me in my little predicament, I would have long since died. I think. Am I already dead? And he kind of spins himself around as if to look at himself.
I'm not sure if I'm alive or dead right now.
Ah, yes. Well, perhaps a bit of both. Though to answer your question, and he adjusts his monocle and affects a shrug with his tentacles. I don't know. I'm not quite sure where we are. Long, awkward silence.
Well, I'm just not exactly. I'm still a bit confused and not sure to process everything.
I can see that look on your face. Perhaps it's disappointment that your patron, your source for power and sense of being, isn't quite the all-knowing god that you may have assumed, yes? No, no. I am no god of death or life or sunlight or granary or frogs or any of that sort. I'm simply me, Phlogistock. And he kind of flips his hat up in the air and it lands daintily back on his head.
Well, I hold out a hand to his hand tentacle to shake it.
He reaches out with one of his tentacles to meet the handshake. It's very squishy. Even though it's made of spikes, you can tell that the spikes themselves are made of a strange, gooey, gelatinous substance that's hardened out, and it's not actually there to, harm anything.
Well, I still get the feeling that maybe if he wanted to, he could probably make it hard into something more dangerous.
Oh no. These are for navigation, you see. If I wanted to harm you, well, and he slaps you across the face with one of the tentacles. It's like being hit with a wet noodle.
What, no glove?
Well, there you go. It didn't really hurt. It was just rather surprising.
Kadash is gonna chuckle a bit. Well, nice to know I at least have someone who's on my side here.
Of course.
Wherever he is.
And you know, although we're alone here, I am quite fond of the friends you've made in the material world. You shouldn't betray them.
They seem to have gotten me out of quite a sticky situation, so I do owe them in that regard, and I probably wouldn't be here to this moment, or maybe I would, depending on where here is. Life, death, who knows?
Of
Still
course.
kind of confused about that.
If you should ever get back to them, do thank them on my account, please.
Alright. I'm not exactly sure how I'll explain this, but I'm sure I can do that.
Now,
But Kadash is kind of just... He kind of feels like he's discombobulated, basically. He's like... He's interested, but he's confused. He's feeling all sorts of conflicting emotions, like, is this real? Is this fake? Is this really where my power comes from? I'm at the same time feeling grateful for the power. Thinking about how he's used it to benefit himself, but then how he's also felt oddly compelled to help with the power as well.
Oh, I know. It is all quite confusing, I'm sure.
Yes,
kinda
especially since this place seems to be beyond my comprehension.
It's beyond mine as well, to be fair. I simply woke up here and began floating around as I do.
Well,
You hear a jet of air release, and he brushes up next to you as a tentacle kind of wraps around your shoulder.
so we both woke up here, so there must be some greater reason why we both are here, if not just to meet.
Well, I have a few theories. You and I, you see, and he's gesturing with one of his tentacles to point at the two of you. We are linked in mind, body, and soul. What you feel, I feel. What you think, I can hear as well. Even the embarrassing thoughts.
Could Ashel turn his own slight shade of pink, though not for the same reason?
So, either I came here first, or you did. And either you followed, or I did.
Kind of a chicken and the egg situation, isn't it?
Of course. But in either case, we're both here now.
You think it has something to do with that tower?
Oh, which one?
The big, menacing black tower?
Oh, yes. That one. Oh, I believe they call it Letherna. I'm not sure how I know that, to be honest.
Well, probably because I was told that, and you said we're linked, so stands to reason you would know, because I know.
Ah, that's a good point. Very good point. Jolly good. You know, when we put our heads together... And he
It's
kind of...
almost like... Yeah. It's almost like two heads are better than one, some might say.
We finish each other's sand... Oh, yes, that's what I was going to say. Yes. Well...
Speaking of sandwiches, you probably go for one right now, but that's the least of my concerns.
Well, I haven't felt altogether that hungry ever since I got here, have you? He pats his saucer-like body where you would assume a stomach would be, but you're not quite sure how that works with his biology.
Well, besides a lot of questions of your biology and what you even eat, it's not really time for that, it seems. Who was this person you were telling me to avoid their gaze?
Oh, that is Samus, I believe. He's some sort of great spirit. I think he may represent something, philosophically speaking.
Maybe he's the reason we're here?
Oh, no, I think he's just doing his job. He simply exists, he is. Though I don't think he brought us here, no.
I guess that's something we'll have to figure out together.
Point of fact, what I eat is actually quite important. He lets out some air and circles around to face you. You see, I eat memories, emotions. Tastiest of all are the good ones. Good memories, kindness, positivity, love, those sorts of things. The more you experience them, the happier I'll be.
Okay, but do I forget them?
That, my dear boy, is the heart of it. You see, I have found out, within the course of me coming here, that I seem to have forgotten some things. Quite a lot of things. I'm not quite sure what I've forgotten.
I feel like that probably makes two of us.
Memories are very important to us flumps, you see. Most of all myself, powerful as I am, being able to link mind, body, and soul to a mortal such as you.
Wait, but if you thrive on such happiness, how come my powers manifest as such illness?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's like the body dispelling waste. Maybe don't visualize it that way.
Probably best not to.
Probably a good thing that every time you release one of your eldritch blasts, it's not letting out a colossal farting noise. Yes, that would be most uncouth of you. Even so. And he kind of lets out jets of air from all of the holes at the base of his body, and it does let out a soft flump noise. Still, he waves his tentacles about. It doesn't smell of any particular way. It's just rather amusing.
Yeah. Doing more for the novelty of it, I guess.
He certainly seems to enjoy himself. I think that the more I discover of what I've lost, the more memories of my own that I discover along the way, the more powerful I and you, and he points at your face, kind of dotting you on the nose, will become. So,
I kind of scrunch my nose a little bit and shake my head slightly.
We're in this together, you see.
I'd imagine so.
Because it is sort of like being sick, or having a cancer eat away at your flesh, you see. To know that I've lost something of myself, that I've gone on unremembered, these memories that I so enjoyed in the past, well, it simply doesn't sit right with me. It makes me anxious, agitated, and as he does so, his color changes to blue. I think that's why you always feel so urged on by feats of danger, adventure. Perhaps you're trying to solve this problem of mine on a subconscious level that you could never know until we're speaking now, eh?
Seems like quite a possibility.
I don't mean to say that I deliberately influence your thoughts. I simply mean to present the better option. I understand that morality by you human types are always a sort of a gray area, but... well, he shrugs again. I do my best. I also almost spilt my beer all over myself. Jesus. I'm getting a little too happy over here. But, yes, and he claps two tentacles together. We should find how to find my memory. Incidentally, Letherna is the Elvish word for fortress of memory. So I suppose we should start there.
Sorry, your audio glitched out. For
No.
what?
Letherna is the Elvish name for the fortress of memory, an old term laid down long ago by... I don't remember.
Well, you'll probably remember soon enough.
If it's a fortress of memory, they must keep lots of memories there. From all sorts of people, places, things, perhaps even mine.
Yes, but my worry is, what if it's purposely repressed memories are held there as well?
Of
Who knows
course.
what tragedies we could witness.
But repressed memories are, pardon my analogy, sort of like constipation. Consternation. Like having a headache. We don't really have heads, but that's what it feels like for us flumps. All memories, even the worst kind, must be confronted, faced forward. That is how we move on, become greater versions of ourselves. And he seems to almost trail off. But this is also a fortress of memory. And you know what that word implies. And he shoots out air to appear upside down, floating above you. He's egging you on for an answer, by the way. He's just patiently waiting.
Sorry, I was questioning it.
A fortress, dear boy. And he kind of slaps you on the cheek. And what does a fortress do?
Keeps others out?
Of course. By all means, mundane and chaotic. Who knows what we may find in there? But I don't think we're technically alive or dead. So what's the worst that could happen?
Probably a lot of things, but I don't really see any other options, so onward and upward.
His body turns green. Right on, dear fellow. Now, I don't think that those people out there can see me. I'm not quite sure why that is, but I do know for certain they can see you. So I'll be going along your side and helping you along the way. I have many powers that could be of most use to you. Perhaps many more that I've yet to discover.
So there seems to be some sort of limitation to our link, though. I'm only able to cast certain amounts of magic certain times a day.
Of course.
It could just be my human limitations. I'm not quite sure.
Or perhaps my lacking of memory on how to communicate it to you. Perhaps if we find my memory on how to give you more power, then I can do so. As a gift for services rendered.
I would certainly appreciate that. Nothing hurts with a little bit of incentive every now and then.
Quite so. Now, shall we be off then?
Head right to the tower.
Of course, where else?
You want to go into the front door, or you want to try and find another way in?
Well, that was certainly my first attempt. It seems as if that massive congregation outside is all heading there themselves, occasionally harangued by deadly spirits such as that nasty little Samus thing. I could sense him coming for you, and so I directed you over here.
Well, I appreciate your warning.
I think I could do it again.
Let's keep that on standby and both keep an eye out.
Of course. Lead the way, my fine fellow.
Okay. Let me do one quick look around or see if there's anything that can help us. I'd like to do an investigation check, see if there's anything
Oh, this old
lying
place?
around there. Yeah.
He gestures around. Why, every single building in this grand city is some variation of this structure. There's nothing there. Nothing useful, anyway.
I
Believe me, I've
would.
checked.
So so are you saying it's all some variation, like the rooms are the same layout, or they have the same rooms in different configurations?
Ah, the former. And sometimes the latter. But mostly the former. No people either. It's as if every building in this great city is a discarded outfit.
So would you say you have a good memory of the layout of these buildings?
I'd like to think I do. But,
Mind it?
well, sometimes it just changes. I don't know why it changes. It just does.
Would you mind sharing that knowledge with me? I think it might come in handy. Something should things go south.
Oh, you mean like a mind meld?
I'm not sure exactly how this works. You said we're linked in mind and body and soul, so I figured it might be something, you know.
Of course, but as I mentioned, the communication to and from must be verbal. I can't quite send you images, I can only send you feelings.
Can you perhaps make a projection using some sort of magic?
I might be able to do something like that. Let me try. And his tentacles all seem to fall slack for a moment, and his eye stalks retreat into their body, and his saucer-like body kind of inflates for a bit, and his tentacles start to like wave around in increasing levels of agitation, before letting out a very, very long, wet, whistling noise from the upper hole. No, I'm afraid I can't do that. Not yet, anyway, I think.
Let me look at my...
Though this monocle here, and he taps it with one of his tentacles, can sense types of magic. So I can tell you if something's magical, of a certain kind of magic. Perhaps guide you with that.
Well, would you mind quickly describing the building, and then we could yada yada it? Because I want my character to have like a kind of a basic understanding of like the general layout of a lot of these buildings, so that way if we do get pursued or something, or we have to escape, I have an easier time navigating certain buildings.
Okay.
If it happens to have the same layout, just for like advantage on like hiding or something.
Phlogistock will proceed to describe to the best of his knowledge, with every bit amount of flair that his personality provides.
And I'll lend him a dagger so he can carve on the floor or something if he wants.
Oh, no thank you. I do not accept any weapons of that sort.
I'll just think of it as a writing implement for now.
Oh, no. I've made a solemn vow never to attack, never to draw blood, to wield the weapon. And besides, these tentacles, useful as they are, do not have the sort of strength that your arms do. I sometimes envy you Homo sapien types that have 5 fingers in a palm. Don't get me wrong, all these tentacles are quite useful in their own way, but...
Well, maybe one of these days you'll remember how to use Mage Hand.
Yes, of course.
Thank you for the description of the buildings. Hopefully we won't need it, but it could come in handy.
He basically describes to you that most of the buildings around here have a great hall, like the one that you're standing in. A study room, a game room, a kitchen area, an upstairs room with several master bedrooms and guest rooms and toiletries and the type. And a few closets. No hidden passages, though. Nothing of that sort.
Unfortunate, but fair enough. Then I think with that information, we should be off.
Yes. So begins the grand adventures of Kadash and Phlogistock through the great, what was it called again?
Inevitable city.
Yes. The inevitable city and Letherna, the fortress of memory. Tally-ho! And he opens the door behind you.
Alright, and with that we head out of the building, kind of cautiously watching the flow of the crowd to kind of see how it will affect us as we start making our way towards the tower.
And some time passes, you're not quite sure how much, because time seems irrelevant here, of you moving along the currents of these vast crowds of souls, clacking along the cobblestone way closer and closer to the great tower in the distance. Occasionally, Phlogistock will tap you on the shoulder and whisper in your ear to take a back alley passage out of the way before meeting up with another causeway and continuing further inward to the center point of this large circular city. It is labyrinthian in architecture and style and degree, Though with the two of you helping each other together, it almost seems pleasant. Like just going on a nice walk. Until eventually...
I
No, go
try to
ahead.
enjoy the moment slightly without letting my guard down too much.
You do feel a sense of calm with Phlogistok at your back, and you wonder if perhaps he's giving you that reassurance subconsciously due to your link. As eventually you're pushed forward to a massive circular causeway, very similar to the one you saw before with the fountain, though this one is 10 times the size. And you see just massive, massive crowds coming in from all directions, moving up closer as above you, stretching up, you're having to crane your neck all the way back, is the massive tower that you spotted before. Just towering above you. Perched up on the corners of buildings, as if wall guardians to this massive circular area, are statues of ravens. Though not regularly sized, they are ravens as if they were the size of a horse, made purely of stone, and their eyes are all gazing down at the crowd below.
Well, that. I feel like those statues aren't statues.
As you're being pushed forward, you realize that they're moving closer to the tower, but where are they going? And before you know it, you see, just at the edge of your vision, that at the center of this massive causeway is not the entrance of the tower, but a massive, massive pit that seems to fall away into nothingness. Just a mist and a gray fog. And all of the souls are just losing their balance and stumbling off the edge.
Well, I try and look for an escape route to not go towards that.
So you're looking around, and Phlogistok is thinking, "Oh, dearie me, I don't think we'd want to fall down there. We want to go up there." And he's pointing to the tower.
Well, you might survive that. I don't think I would.
I could try and carry you, perhaps.
Well, you don't exactly have very good grip, do you? And
Yes,
I'm
but
not
you
sure
do.
Yes, but rather squishy as you are, I'm not quite sure I'd be able to get a good grip.
Just hold on to a big bunch of my tentacles as best you can. I'll gather up
Right.
as much air as I possibly can, and hopefully that can shoot us up to the lowest floor.
How aware does everyone seem to be of me? Because I want to almost try and use Eldritch Blast to apply some sort of force to help us, but I also don't want to bring too much attention to us.
So, looking about, the crowded people are just moving towards the pit as if they're not even aware where they're going. Just
But
completely
those crow
absent-mindedly.
things.
Uh,
I'm gonna, before we do anything, I'm gonna kind of gather a tiny bit of energy, not enough to really be noticeable, but see if it causes any sort of reaction with those crow things.
You're looking at the massive... They're very far behind you at this point, like several 100 feet away, up several floors, like perched up on the top of buildings, at the edge of this massive causeway. And they haven't seemed to move, but as you get closer, you can see, long in the distance, through the crowds of incorporeal souls, a physical body of a human of some kind, though they seem utterly frail, as if simply a skeleton with skin hanging on. Sorry, what was I thinking?
Plug and stock, do you think they could be friend or foe?
They're draped in nothing but a loincloth to cover their crotch area. And their skin just almost seems to be hanging off of them. They're that rail thin. And they're sitting on their knees as if they're incapable of bringing themselves up on their feet. And they're clutching these massive trident poles, very similar to the ones you saw earlier by the fountain. However, instead of a face, they have bolted onto their collarbone an iron mask shaped into the head of a raven. Very similar to a certain anime, if you know what I'm referencing.
I was getting more like BioShock vibes.
I'm only saying, like, for the benefit of those who are listening, you might have an indication.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll put it. It's kind of like this a bit. I put it in the channel. They have like these types of masks on.
Oh.
But you can't actually see their eyes or mouths through it. It's just like a conical beak-like helm.
What do you think, Floggerstock? Do you think they're friendly?
I am always willing to give the benefit of the doubt to any stranger. And as he says this, you look back at one of them, and you see one of the souls on the edge of the pit kind of hesitate for a bit, and then one of the raven things lets out this loud caw noise, and then just shoves them with their large harpoon into the pit.
Oh.
Okay,
Well,
never mind.
I think that answers that. Huh. Well, I was gonna say we should offer them food or water, but I think that is probably a bad idea.
We're going with plan A then, yes?
I guess so, because if we don't do it willingly, they'll do it by force.
Okay. And he lets out some gas to position himself above your head. Grab on. Don't make this weird.
Okay, I grab on.
You kind of hold on, and it's kind of like trying to hold on to a bunch of wet noodles.
Yeah.
And you're just like squeezing as hard as you can. And Floggerstock is like, not that tightly now, that kind of hurts. Now, stand by. I can't do this while you're watching. And he begins to inflate until the saucer-like body of his is almost entirely full, like he's just become a balloon.
Blimp.
And you begin to lift up off the ground just a little bit. You kind of feel your feet kicking out from beneath you. You're raising up a few inches at a time, very slowly.
Okay. I use the opportunity to kind of get a better look around to see if I notice anything different about our surroundings with the added altitude as we rise.
It's not happening very fast.
Yeah, after a bit, I wait a bit.
You're only after about 5 minutes, only about a foot off the ground.
Huh.
Socks, that's fucking great. Oh my god. And Floggerstock, as if he's like holding his breath, he's like, hold on. A little.
What about the Earthbound theme? Sucks.
Do 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 do. Holy shit. That's really making me. Woo! And eventually you think, is this really how it's gonna go? Until, like, you hear, and now! And just a wave just, poof, like, just flies out of Floggistog's body and just belts you in the face. Like your hood gets thrown off by this sudden gust of air as you shoot up into the sky. You see down below you those strange raven things kind of waving about their harpoons at you as if to try and get you down from there. But you're already far, far up in the sky. Off in the distance, you see the entire causeway open up and those massive raven statues perched on the rooftops of those buildings. The heads that were once looking down are now looking at you. Not all of them, just the two nearest you, that like the ones that you saw coming in, essentially. Because you're looking around and you're seeing them all in the distance, and most of them are still looking down at the crowd below, but the two that you passed closest to are now looking at you, though they're not doing anything else. Which is strange, because you didn't see them move. They're statues.
Wait, say it again?
I'm saying that those giant raven statues that were looking down at the crowd, the two of them that were flanked on either side of the road that you came in on specifically are looking at you.
Uh-oh.
But the raven statues that are perched on either end of the other causeways all around the big circle surrounding the floating tower are still looking at the crowd as if they didn't notice or pay any mind to you. And you hear a vast amount of like voices cawing and shouting up at you.
Uh-oh.
How high can we go?
Actually, I can't do anything. My hands are kind of full. I was gonna try and use some Eldritch Blast to help propel us, but I can't exactly do that when I'm holding on.
Use your feet!
I can do that?
Kick the air!
Okay. I flail my legs, hoping that it'll do something. Also, while I'm at it, I kind of feel like he's probably a bit exposed and squishy, so I'm going to cast Mage Armor on him.
You see some armor kind of form up around Flogistock. It looks like it's armor that was specifically built for the flump, but you've never seen or heard of any of the type. You just think that the spell did its best, essentially, to cover the body.
Yeah, it smells like, this looks right.
Looks kind of okay. You kind of put, like, little boots on each of the tentacles.
Yeah. So it's, the target's AC is now 13 plus Dex.
And you're looking around, kind of... even the tilt of your head is enough for, like, you to sway in the air a little bit.
Oh, jeez.
And the air exiting from Flogistock is still quite strong, but it's no longer that initial rocket boost up, and so it's now kind of become more of a light breeze. Thankfully, it doesn't smell like anything.
I look around. Is there anything that looks like could be grabbed onto near to us at all?
So, your best estimate, you're about 50 feet distant from the tower itself to potentially grab onto anything. You would have to swim yourself out above the pit below, but right now you're just above the crowd of people.
So lightning lure would not help because we're not close enough. Try and use it to grab onto anything. It's I know it's for creatures, but I mean.
Yeah, but you could still use it for that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's 15 feet. I don't think that he has enough magical power to extend that range.
And as you continue to ascend, slower and slower, but still quite high up in the air, you finally pass the lip of the lowest point on the tower, and you keep going up. There doesn't seem from where you are to be like any obvious routes in, like any doors or passageways or arches. Nothing of that. but it is just simply like that image that I shared earlier. Just like a ton of like, whatchamacallit, just this decrepit looking tower that's just floating. Slatisla.
But yeah, basically, on our way up, any chance I get, now I feel like, how much grip do I feel like I have with one hand? Do I feel like if I were to have one hand temporarily off of his tentacles, I'd just fall, or do I need to maintain both hands grip, or do I feel like I have pretty good grip with at least one hand?
You have a pretty good grip, though you realize, you don't have to roll for this, you realize that to do so would displace your weight and probably push you in a direction.
Lightning lower would displace? Because
No. If you let go of one hand, it would displace your
oh,
weight.
okay. I will suggest, hey, Floggerstock, can you cast the spells that I can cast?
Not right now! I'm focusing!
Ah, okay.
Though, it could get you closer to the tower as well.
How far are we still? How far are we still?
You're quite a distance away, so you've only gone up.
Okay.
You're still about 50 feet away from like getting anywhere near to the tower. Basically, it's kind of like a reverse Ratatouille, where you have to kind of pull on the tentacles one way or another with one of your hands to kind of put yourself, to kind of steer the flump.
Okay, well, I'm going to... It's probably not going to work, but I'm going to... While maintaining my grip, I'm going to try and focus some Eldritch Blast energy towards my feet and see if I can expel some energy that way. I've never heard anyone doing that, so I doubt it'll work, but I figure it's worth a shot to try and concentrate and do that.
So
and give us a little boost.
Which hand are you using, by the way?
Feet.
Oh, you're using your feet.
Attempting to.
Oh, I see.
I'm trying to imagine the same feeling of magic movement in my hands, but instead on my feet. Hoping it might do something. If nothing, just at least a tiny burst of energy.
I'm gonna Iron Man this shit. Feet bros are celebrating. Oh my god.
Nothing too powerful, because I don't want to bat my head into his underside.
Can I just say,
But just enough to kind of push some weight.
slight pause. I never would have expected, and this is coming from someone who planned the fucking session, I never would have expected that I'd have a player riding a flump like this. It is amazing, and I'm loving it. But yeah, so you do your best. It is very difficult to do because you're having to concentrate on using an appendage that you never would have thought to use before for this type of spell, and releasing from the tip of your boot.
Probably more the heel, because that's more under the center of mass.
From what's the name of the bit at the direct center of the foot? Is that the arch? That's the arch.
The arch is to the more to the left side. That's a sole, probably.
So straight from the sole of the bottom of your foot, a small bolt of pale green lightning shoots out and collides with the cobblestone below, and it gives you a slight boost upwards.
So it didn't manifest as kind of the shadowy blast, but just a little jolt of the lightning bit of it.
Yeah, it's just like a little thing, just to it's kind of like Moonlander a bit.
Yeah, kind of like how he kind of using the way he releases air as inspiration, kind of try and do that.
Yeah.
But instead of air, it's Eldritch Blast energy. Just anything to try and take the load off him a little bit.
Get us closer. I'm running out of air.
Okay. I'm going to try and do that, but towards. Technically, a spell it doesn't have. It's any part of my body, technically, correct?
For what?
I focus hard enough that it probably wouldn't be viable at all during a fight, but.
For what
enough focus,
specifically?
probably. I was thinking maybe try and do lower back.
The lower back. I
Like
think
kind of you know the feeling when you're trying to pop your own back. But kind of trying to focus magical energy.
I think as you try that, you realize that the component of the spell seems to work. Like it's requiring a lot of concentration and energy to basically redirect it.
Yeah.
It comes out of your hands most easily because that's the way you've done it every time.
Intended to, yeah.
It's as intended. It's as it's taught. Doing it from the feet, it's a bit different, but it kind of works because it's just another appendage.
Yeah.
But pulling it out of just like a random point in your body is just like it requires a lot. It's almost like too much effort, essentially.
Okay, then I'm gonna kind of angle my legs slightly to kind of point it more toward to push us towards the wall with a little jolts that I can put out.
So as you do, you feel a sudden jolt forward as the energy pushes you a little bit. Not much, only about 5 or 6 feet, which means you're probably gonna have to like do every so often.
Just. I'm gonna do that until we get close enough to use lightning lure. Then I'm gonna let one hand go and grab onto something lightning lure.
So as you get closer, once again, like I said, you've already passed the bottom lip of the tower and you're still ascending slower now than your initial takeoff, but you're still going up. You see the shadow of something cresting around the edge, at the edge of your vision, from the other side, somewhere within the fortress. Something humanoid and winged, like harpies almost, and as you take a better look, you see it's those frail-bodied raven things.
Uh-oh.
But these ones have wings, and they have their long harpoon poles out, and they just like in a great mass. They fly now, or at least these ones do. They seem to be flying towards you with great speed to apprehend you.
Uh-oh.
Floggerstock hasn't quite noticed. He's still concentrating.
I try and speed up the feet casting.
Faster, faster, faster!
Faster! Oh shit!
So you're getting a little bit closer. Once again, like you're passing various ledges that seem to like put you on the outside of the tower, but nothing that's indicating like a balcony or like a doorway inside yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking for anywhere right now we can like tuck into, like any like outcroppings that we might be able to hide in, at least to rest for a moment.
Flogislav, one of his stalks kind of points in the direction of the the oncoming school of murder of crows, rather, on their way over to you. It's like, quickly, hurry, get inside.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm kind of I let go of, when we get close enough. I let go with one hand and I lightning lure the tower and kind of yank it like you're trying to ripstart a lawnmower.
Also, like that, I put up Earthworm Jim in another tab, and it was the one I was streaming. So, VOD people are gonna love that.
Wow.
So you throw a lightning lure to throw yourself closer, still gripping on.
Kind of like a grappling hook kind of thing.
You grapple onto the tower, and it holds fast. I'm so gonna delete that.
Delete what?
My Earthworm Jim thing. I can't believe I did that. But anyway,
Black screen.
Black screen. But
Or you can
anyway,
just overlay just the map.
yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, so you throw yourself further than, and with the inertia, tumble into the tower, and you feel you're braced for an impact. But then you pass right through it, and you just land down onto the hard stone floor again. The second time on your little misadventure.
Ow.
And as you get up and look around, you realize you're in a chamber of some sorts, made entirely out of stone. It looks almost like a jail cell. And it's lit from somewhere. No, wait. Flogaslog is in the room. He's glowing. That's where the light's coming from. And that's how you're able to see faintly. You're squinting your vision in the absolute darkness. In this jail cell-sized room. You're not quite sure how you got in here. Last you saw it, you were outside approaching a massive tower. It's almost as if the wall itself, you just phased right through into whatever was beyond that. And real quick, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
And pause the recording. I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Okay.
And we're back. We are back. And once again, you are in a cell-sized room with... as you look around, there's no apparent exit.
Oh boy. Well, I hope we're not trapped.
That would be most anticlimactic for our little adventure, yes?
Yeah, but at least we're not at risk of falling now.
Quite so. I almost gave up back there. I pushed myself even further beyond. Just a bit longer to get us there. I could have given out 2 minutes before we ended up falling into this room.
I definitely got creative with my magic. I don't think that's something I'll be able to do very often, but... Or especially in extremely urgent situations, but it was good that I was able to come up with something.
Aye. We make a good team, you and I. Now, we should find a way out of here.
There is one.
I suppose we could feel around for a secret door. And he starts draping his tentacles along the wall.
Do I see anything that even looks like text? Words.
Text? Words?
Anything written?
You see a lot of scratch marks as if someone had been here for a very long time. You lose count, but you realize that they're doing it in numerals of 9. So they scratch out a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then start over.
Oh. That sounds familiar.
What's
Where have
that?
I heard someone counting up to 9 before?
Are you saying that you know something?
I have a feeling like I might not be fully awake right now.
Now, hold on now.
I get the gut feeling that I'm here, but I'm not actually here.
I've got a theory. You still have that dagger of yours, yes?
I seem to have all my items, yes.
Try scratching out those numbers next to the other numbers.
Alright.
It takes some time to break into the stone with your dagger. but eventually you get the knack for it. And you scratch out the Roman numerals for 1 through 9 in an empty spot right next to the long listing scrapes of that you identified earlier. And you realize that they are identical.
Flagstock?
Yes?
I don't think this is the first time we've been here.
Really? And yet it feels like the first time for me.
Maybe it's because we simply don't remember.
This is the fortress of memory. Perhaps memories are exchanged as common currency. Or put away, archived, or jailed. If this isn't the first time, when was the first time?
I don't remember.
Strange. But that also means there's a way out. For certain. And we just have to remember how we did it before.
Or we just don't remember when we actually got here. We just keep thinking we just got here.
He taps one of his tentacles beneath where the hole is, as if to tap his chin.
I'm going to I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out a hammer, piton, and I'm going to look around to see if there's any marks that look like they could have been made by a hammer and piton before.
So as you're looking in the small chamber that you're in, you realize that through the glow of Phlogistock, right above him on the ceiling, are 2 marks that match what you're looking for.
I am going to kind of chip away at that area with using the piton as kind of a chisel and the hammer to hit it, try and keep from damaging my knives too much.
What ho? Up there? He's looking at you, doing your work.
Well, you see, if we've been here for longer than we realize, eventually we'll get through.
And once again, this takes some time. But as you begin hammering as best as you can into the ceiling, you feel a bit of a give. And Phlogistock sticks several of his tentacles in to the hole that you've made. And uses the best of its strength to its ability to kind of pull it out. And then he pushes it by gathering up a large quantity of air and throwing himself against the wall. And he kind of splatters against the top. Kind of like those sticky hands that you'll throw against the wall.
Yo, or the squishy toys where you throw it against that are full of water and you throw it against the ceiling and they just stick.
Yeah, it just up against the ceiling. And until a stone cube about the size, like it's wide enough to fit your full body, lifts itself up out of the chamber as if by some other force, and then moves itself to the side. You cannot see beyond this chamber. It is nothing but fog.
Well, I guess it's how we did it before. Or this is the first time. Guess we'll find out.
Well, who's going first?
I feel like I'm less squishy than you are, so probably better if I go first.
Very well. Right behind you, good sir.
I am going to. Once I get to the other side of this seemingly doorway, I'm going to make a mark with the piton. I'm just gonna tap it to make a marker, so that way, in case we do end up back here, there's a counter of how many times we've done this. And if there's more marks than just that, that means we've done it more than once.
Okay. And as you lift yourself out of here, you find yourself in a vast, vast chamber. It goes up further than your eye can see. And around, you think the far wall is something like 300 or 400 feet away. The interior dimensions of this chamber vastly outstrip what the tower looked like in its exterior. And it seems like a massive grand hall. A vast, vast carpet is laying out along the length of this hall, and it goes up the marble stair, and there's huge marble pillars with colossal titan-like statues standing vigil, perched up against these pillars. And all of them have the heads of ravens and are perched with all manner or form of different weapons of the type. Though unlike the raven people from outside, these ones are fully bulked out. These are warriors.
Oh.
They have that like Adonis-like structure to them, as if every moment of their life has been bred for war and battle and conflict.
Well, let's hope we don't piss them off. I make a mark just on the wall closest to me once I get through the doorway. And I look to see if there are any other marks. Same type.
You do see a few marks. Though they're not marked like with a 1, like you would expect to mark. Like, I don't really know. How are you marking it exactly? Like, are you leaving a symbol?
I'm just leaving a little, like a kind of a chip, just like a dot kind of thing.
As you leave a little chip, you realize that in the place you're marking it, right above where you were about to put it, there are several markings as if by a dagger of the Roman numeral 2.
I guess last time I used a dagger. Or someone else has had the same thing.
Well,
Oh wait, 2 in the. Why do I feel like I've heard that before? 2 in the corridor.
the hallway? This is a grand hall. I can barely see beyond the shadows in the furthest part of this hallway. It's larger than...
Oh! I think I know what's going on now.
It's larger than any throne room I've ever heard of.
Me, Paper Guide, knows what's going on based on information I have, but I don't think 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭 would know, because he doesn't remember. Plus, I don't think he knows what went on with the other people. I made a connection. I think I know what's going on, but I can't. 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭 doesn't know.
I wring my hands together, scheming.
It's almost as if there's a reason why I was on sleepwalking and mumbling.
Phlogistok kind of spins himself around. Well, the way I see it, there's several doorways along this hallway. And to go that way, and he points behind you, is to go out. And to go this way, and he points with another tentacle, with his other eye stalk pointing in opposite direction, is to go further into the fortress.
I get the feeling we need to go downwards, not up. I don't know why. But I just have the gut feeling. Let's look for a staircase downwards.
Lagastock spins around for a bit. Very well. You lead the way. In rather than out. Down rather than up. As above, so below.
Okay, out of character. What was the number for in the crypts again? Was it 3?
3.
Yeah. And okay, so Kadash is gonna, as he's searching the walls, 3. He's gonna feel around on the wall, and based on information of 2. He's gonna get the feeling that maybe it's the steps of what they need to do to remember. So he's gonna feel for a doorway and look for, and then next to it he's gonna look for the number 3.
So, as you're moving along the hall, you're approaching on the outside of these massive pillars. The pale moonlight is shining in from vast windows up above you, and casting long dark shadows which are occasionally passing over you. After about 10 minutes of walking this hallway, which seems never ending, seems to be approaching a large stairway, and then it kind of ends. And far off into the distance, you see archways that lead into these spiral staircases that go both up and down. Until your fingers that are brushing alongside the wall meet against something that is different. It's a catch. It's not the same material as the wall you've been tracing all along. Something's different.
Inspect it closer.
As you turn, you realize that there's a square plaque situated into the wall. It's only about 2 feet wide and 3 feet long. It's so small in this room of such gargantuan proportions that it almost feels tucked away, as if you would scarcely ever notice it. And written, chiseled into this plaque, is the Roman numeral 2 again, and then a stanza of something written in a language that you don't quite recognize at first, until you hear the sounds of whispering darkness place that knowledge into your mind. And you almost hear your own voice read it out in your own head. It standeth forever beyond all mortal sight, as beyond a mirror upon the other side, seen only in visions and the most fitful dreams, subject to constant motion of currents and ethereal tides, and is the house of ruin and insanity both, for within it dwelleth the powers who haunteth the dark, and besides them many other vacant thrones, and diverse spirits of revenge and ruination. It is an abyssal.
Oh. I speak Abyssal.
You do. Through your patron.
True. Where? Oh. There we go. Okay.
I copied it into the thing if you wanted to.
Yeah,
print
me.
it.
Yeah. Doesn't quite make a lot of sense to me now, but I'm sure as time goes on, it'll make more sense.
You hear the sound of a whistling. You think
Of
that
the
it's... Wait, what?
I look to Phlogistock.
You think it's Phlogistock? He's just looking at you. What is it? The whistling grows louder and louder and louder until you realize that it's not him. It is the sound of arrows cutting wind.
Get down.
As it, before you yell, "Get down!" an arrow punctures right through Phlogistock and pierces him into
What
the
about the
ground.
mage armor?
It shatters immediately.
Oh, fuck.
And Phlogistock shares this look with his eyes to you for one final moment and tries to voice something before all of his tentacles fall weak and slide down the arrow shaft and sink into the ground. And then phoom, you feel another arrow land squarely, directly above the bridge of your nose into your forehead. And as red trickles down above your vision, you see a figure.
I'm going to, with every last bit of energy I have, just throw everything into an agonizing blast towards whatever this thing is as I fall.
You attempt to voice something out, but as if in a great a whisper, you hear a
I have no idea what you said. Your audio's cutting out when you say it.
So imagine I'm whispering when I say this. Hush, you're already dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
My mic didn't pick it up.
I
Oh
think-
no. Yeah.
It also could be Discord's
It's their
noise
anti-noise
filter.
cancellation. Yeah.
Risk-
As dropping down as if they were literally a part of the shadows themselves, hiding, is a woman of some kind, wielding a massive bow that almost seems to be made out of pure energy. Show?
I feel like this might be familiar. This feeling, I don't think it's the first time I felt it.
As you sink to the ground, you see tattooed on her arm the Roman numeral 2. And then you are swallowed by darkness. And wake up in the cell.
I remember.
Phlogistock. Phlogistock is floating in the room. What's that? What do you
This
remember?
isn't the first time we've been here.
It certainly feels like the first time.
I think we're stuck in some sort of loop.
A loop? Is time even real in this place?
I'm not sure. Maybe a little, maybe partially, but not entirely. I feel like it does and it doesn't at the same time.
I love that Socks flipped when he died. Okay. Anyway.
Socks what?
Tears of Lost Socks was very upset that Phlogistock died.
Yeah. No! I see.
Phlogistock kind of floats around and goes, well, if we've done this before, then how do we get out of here?
Well, I don't think it makes a difference, but
I feel like we should go with what I remember, and I'm going to take out my knife, and I'm going to carve the numerals 1 through 9 in the wall again. Then I am going to do the same thing with the chisel on the ceiling. Tell Phlogistock, stick your tentacles through there, push as hard as you can. Kind of explaining what happened the last time.
And he'll repeat that action. And you find yourself in that grand hall again.
Now here's the part where I'm not sure what we do next.
Why is that?
It ended with our deaths last time.
Really? How did we die?
Some strange woman with a bow made of energy.
Do you know this woman?
No, but I think she knows me.
Bow and arrow, eh?
I still feel we need to go downwards, but we need to go the opposite direction we tried last time. I'm going to feel around on the wall on the opposite side of where we went before. And I'm going to make another chip in the wall, but on the opposite side, hopefully it will be the correct direction. Hopefully there won't be as many marks on this side.
So you're basically going outward from the hall or inward? Are you going on the opposite side, like on the other
Opposite side. Hoping to still get to a stairwell, but hopefully at one that she won't be able to kill us from. So we can go down. Because I feel like she's there. There's probably a reason why she's there. Like we might be on the right track, but we just need to find another way past her. Look, and if I feel like I need to find the number 3. I found 1 and 2, but I need to find 3. So now I'm going the right direction. I need to make it to 9.
So, you make your way across the hallway, feeling oddly safe. Wait, what?
I say to Phlogistock as we're doing this, I swear I remember a story with where the number 9 was important. Unless that there was 9 layers.
9 layers?
I'm sure it'll come to me. And we continue looking for number 3 on the opposite side.
So you cross the hallway to the other end that you didn't move along the first time and begin moving further inward. However, unlike last time, you seem to be looking left and right, staying longer in the shadows than in the light. Because you know someone is out there, looking, watching, waiting. They guard this place, you think. And you eventually make contact with a grand arch and a stairway that goes up.
Well, I guess we could try going up, because you know what they say, what goes up must come down, so maybe we'll find another staircase. I feel around the staircase to see if there's a number 3 anywhere, or any numbers.
You do not see anything.
Guess I'll keep feeling as we go up.
So you move your way up the spiral stair, which seems to go on for a very long time. You're not quite sure, because it's hard to keep time here. But you do feel quite winded as eventually you reach another floor. This stretches out into a much smaller corridor, into until it ends with various amounts of doors that seem to lead off into chambers that you're not quite sure about. It just seems oddly quiet. At the far end of the room, situated between 2 doors, is another plaque, though you can't make it out from this distance.
Hold on. I am going to... Also, I still have 1 spell slot missing from Expedition 2, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What do I have? Oh, I do have dark vision with range 60 feet, by the way.
Yeah. Though this darkness almost seems to
Oh, magical darkness?
be very purveying and almost sentient as it closes in around you.
I see. Okay,
It's almost as if the tower itself is only showing you what it wants you to see. And that thought chills you.
that is true. I'm going to motion for Flogstock to get behind me as I make my way cautiously towards the plaque.
Flogstock is kind of whispering, "Where do you think this goes?"
I don't know. So we're trying to find out. Also, make sure you float low towards the ground. Make yourself a harder target to hit.
He releases some air and kind of puts himself at about where his eye stalk is just looking right at you, but his body is beneath you.
And is he slightly smaller since he has less air inside him?
Yeah. He shrinks his body down a little bit.
Okay, good. I'm going to make my way cautiously over to the plaque.
As you move into this circular chamber with various doors going into different directions, all of them closed, you're not quite sure where they go. You see the plaque with a Roman numeral 1 and another saying in Abyssal, "Yet know this is the true and everlasting place of madness, and lies that concealeth all truth within its manifold streets and fine gates, which hath stood since before time was, and withstand through time, and unto beyond all time eternal, and is without any time, for it was builded in the dark, and in the everlasting dark remains. All of the doors simultaneously open, as if waiting for you to finish reading it.
So it sounds like we're going the opposite direction we would go then.
You hear a
Okay,
muttering
right.
of voices, growing louder. My goodness!
What? What is it?
It is beautiful.
What is it?
Phlogistok is turning about, looking in each of the doors, and as you peek within them, you see all manner of trinkets and baubles of gold and gems, mother of pearl, stretched about on grand mahogany tables, various texts and books of all sorts and types written in various types of languages, placed about in massive bookcases that span up far beyond into an unseen ceiling. The knowledge here. Do you think my memories are in these chambers?
Maybe, but I get the feeling like this might be a trap. I feel like it's temptation of some sort.
As you're speaking... No, go ahead. Sorry.
I want to investigate, but I feel like it might be a bad idea.
You hear the sound of a strong voice echoing out from one of the rooms. And what are the achievements of that fragile world? It is a corpse, rotting slowly from within while maggots writhe in its belly. It was built with the toil of heroes and giants, and now it is inhabited by frightened weaklings, to whom the glories of those times are half-forgotten legends. I have forgotten nothing. My wisdom is expanded far beyond mere mortal frailties. For knowledge is power. That is the only good, and the only evil is in ignorance. I must find it. I must find the answer.
Fump, was that you?
From over here. Phlogistok kind of drifts over to one of the doors.
Wait, Flagstock. Was that voice yours?
Maybe? I sound rather spiteful.
What color do you glow when you're upset?
That depends. Anger is red. Sadness is blue. Right now, I am green for my curiosity. But for contempt, hatred, I don't know.
Let's try and see if we can spot anything glowing red or blue or some shade in between.
Phlogistok, as you're saying this, he floats down the hallway in the direction of the voice.
Don't leave without me. Let me go ahead. Last time you died first. So if we can change that order, it'll help.
You go after him, and he's floated down this long, dark hallway which opens up into another grand room filled with books that are opened partway through, various texts and scriptures laying about, and at its center, as if the nucleus, is another figure, masked, evidently male and hooded, reading about through this massive tome, muttering to himself. What's that? I hear something. And as they turn around, I have
Is it me?
I have an image for this. Sorry, hold on.
Is it me? Am I seeing myself?
You see this figure.
Oh, it's another one. Oh boy.
Embroidered on the signet that is holding his robe together is the Roman numeral 1.
1? Yeah, okay.
Get out! Leave this place! And he casts Cone of Cold.
I Eldritch Blast. Huh? What did you say?
He casts Cone of Cold.
Actually, instead I'll do Ray of Sickness.
Okay. Roll Ray of Sickness.
Cold and I roll of Sickness.
Roll. Or wait, that's a save,
Okay.
isn't it? Or is that an attack?
Spell. Cast. Not good.
A 9 misses. As he throws a cone of cold at you. It's taken a second. Display spell. Okay. Con save from Phlogistock and you.
Oh! Well, I would have gotten that on the Ray of Sickness.
A crit! Oh shit. Hold on, I have to look up his con. Okay, it's just a flat 20. So, as the Cone of Cold moves over, it completely freezes Phlogistock. And 8d8, huh? Wait, is it 8d8?
Oh.
I think it's more. Oh, that's right, because he upcasted it.
Ah, shit.
$10d8. That's half, though. Since
Jesus Christ.
since you dodged it. So that becomes
Oh,
18.
I'm dead. Oh, I have 1 hit point left.
And Phlogistock, frozen, is falls to the ground, and some of his tentacles shatter, and he just kind of rolls about on the ground as you begin to freeze over onto the ground as well. As
I try Eldritch Blast this guy.
this masked figure moves up to you, and he whispers at you. Not all knowledge is sacred. Some of it is cursed. Some you must never know. You must never go in the darkness. That is my burden to bear, not yours. Go on in ignorance, mortal.
I'm just wanting to leave.
As
Back to my own room.
As you open your mouth to speak, you feel the cold freezing down your gullet. As he shocking grasps you.
What a dick.
That's a 17.
Well, I'm dead.
Yeah, I don't need to roll for it. And you wake up in the cell.
Huh. We can't go up. We can't go down. What do we do?
What's that? Phlogistock is floating in the cell with you.
Also, do I get my spell slot back? One
No,
that I use on him.
you don't actually, which is curious.
Shit. I have no spell slot left.
It might also take away the idea that it's a loop.
Okay, we appear to not be looping, but we still appear to be dying. Where to go from here? We found one. We found two. But we don't know where 3 is. Or any other numbers up to 9. This time instead, I'm gonna just carve in 1 and 2 on the wall instead of 1 to 9. Then I explained to Phlogistock everything that's gone on so far.
Really?
Let him know, yeah.
That bad. Who was that
Yeah.
man?
I don't know, but they're probably working with the one that killed us the first time. They had similar attire and similar energies about them. Besides that, I don't know very much about them.
You said one was an archer, and this one shot magic?
My guess right now is that that each one will be a different class based on the major classes.
Perhaps. He's thinking.
It's hard to say what 3 would be, because stands to there's multiple magic classes, but I believe he would be sorcerer.
Yes, it is quite an...
Because he knows about his thing is knowledge. First 2 must be a ranger.
quite a pickle indeed, he's thinking to himself.
There's a lot of possibilities what the others can be.
In any case, no time like the present is. Unless everything's the present now. The now of then and
It's
there.
hard to say. These could all be happening all at the same time. We
True.
could just be in separate areas. We could be clones. We could be doppelgangers.
I wonder
hard to
how
say.
we would even know if we were the doppelganger.
Hard to say. It seems like this place exists and it doesn't at the same time, almost as if we're in limbo.
Perhaps some things don't bear thinking about. Yes, should probably stay focused. The mission, as it were, finding lost memories. We're sort of doing that, aren't we?
Yes.
I'm
You
not
like
sure.
number 9 has some sort of significance. Almost as if there's 9 different areas, 9 different circles.
I just, well, I certainly wish I didn't die so gruesomely every time this happened.
I'm not sure if this is all happening because you die first or because we both die. I don't know if the order matters.
Well, in any case, I'll try
For you
not to be.
die first.
I'll try not to be so adventurous this time.
You seem to be taking this surprisingly well.
Well,
I mean, my head hurts just trying to think of it.
it all could be worse.
how's
Philosophizing is one of my favorite pastimes, you see. Well, if it is as you say, and we're in a sort of dreamland limbo, then there's always The possibility of going to hell. Is it worse?
Since
Is it
we're not
better?
already there.
No, no, no. Hell, as I understand it, is a far more clear and present pain. A darkness that seems to enact personal torments. These torments, however, are not personal. It is, as I said, back in the city. It is a fortress of memory. Fortresses, therefore, would have defenses and guards. Perhaps what we're encountering here is simply one of those things. Although painful, this constant back and forth that you seem to be experiencing, I do think we are learning with each trip. Perhaps eventually, we rats can find our way out of this maze. Eh?
Perhaps. I'm going
Always,
to... Huh?
always got to be the positive thinker. He taps his head again.
Let's try. I'm gonna take out the the baton and the hammer again, but instead of the ceiling, I'm gonna do one of the walls.
Is it going to be one of the... So all of the walls are marked? Like, I may have understated it that most of the walls are completely covered by these markings. The ceiling is filled with, like, markings from pitons. And as you look at your feet, you notice that there are a few piton markings there as well.
Well, it stands to reason. Well, we've done those before and they didn't turn out well, but I'm curious as to why. But I don't particularly feel like dying. So I'd hazard a guess that if it's something we haven't tried yet, it could be worth a shot. So I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna go for one of the walls that's covered in the scratch marks instead. The floor or ceiling.
Okay. And you begin hammering away. You spend some time doing this. You dislodge a large portion of the wall, and nothing seems to come of it. A large rock, sizable enough, with some of the numerical markings on one side, kind of dislodges itself from the wall and falls at your feet. And beyond that is only more stone.
So there's no passageway.
As above, so below. Why did
Alright, I
I
guess
say
we're going
that?
I guess we're going down.
Phlogistok seems like perturbed by this, his color turning more of like a pale blue. I don't know why I said that.
Maybe you're remembering,
Yes.
just like I am.
And as you begin marking against the floor in the marks that you apparently might have left there before, it does give way, and you can push down on it to remove the stone block. Though unlike the gray mist of above, this is not but a black mist of below.
Let's see if we can't find 3. Wait.
Bombs away! And he jumps down with you. You land haphazardly at least, in a very cramped hallway. It's barely 5 feet across, and pushed up against you are various indents into the wall with stone coffins lining them. And in between these little... I forgot the word. In between these little crypts, making up
So
the
it's like
walls
catacombs?
themselves. Yeah. Are several skulls. As
Oh
if
boy.
the skulls themselves make up the foundation of the walls.
So very much like the French catacombs.
Oh yeah, full-on Paris catacombs. By the way, I hadn't seen that movie before. I watched it for the first time when Pippa watched it.
Yeah.
It was kind of silly and dumb for most of it, but when they got to hell, I thought it was very interesting. Like, I enjoyed it from the filmmaking perspective. I think when she watched it at the time, she was kind of very unjustly ripping into it a little too hard. And I even...
Yeah, it's just Pippa.
Yeah, that's how she is. And that's why I even called her out on it. I'm like, well, it wasn't shit. I just think it was kind of so-so, like this or that. I liked this aspect. And then she was like, yeah. And then she started talking about it.
The yappening.
Yeah. I got her to yap. She engaged with me.
Nice.
It was fun.
I have gotten her to tell me shut the fuck up. It was funny.
As Below, So Below, though, like, once you get past, like, the first 30 minutes or so, I think it's a pretty decent, okay movie. Honestly. But yeah. You're surrounded, and at your feet, as if, placed within the floor, another plaque. In abyssal. And it says the Roman numeral 3. And in abyssal
Well.
it says,
Looks like we're making progress.
"It lieth but a mere lifetime's journey from Calistar, yet therein its walls and turrets join by mason's craft to the walls and turrets of that impossible city, and so too but a moment's eternity from the city of brass, and also close to 𝐂𝐴𝐻, which it is and is not, and thereby it is and is not all things and places thereafter and before, freed from all reason."
I'm getting the impression, yeah, that means that the place we're in makes no sense. It does and doesn't make sense. It doesn't exist. Time flows and yet it doesn't. That's just the impression I'm getting from what these facts have been saying so far. What do you think?
I think you've got it. Though, only part of this is some unremembered empire. What? What does that mean? This dark
Already
city.
Eldritch Blasts.
This
But-
dark and inevitable city. Ugh. And his color changes to pink. Well now. Forward, yes. Or back. Which way are we
Well,
going?
you sure cheered up quickly. I guess forward, because so far when we went up, we found 1 and 2. Now we're finally getting into the other numbers.
So you then move forward.
So watch your step. There could be traps.
Well, I levitate. So you should watch your step, good sir.
Fair enough, but still, watch for any high placed tripwires,
Ah,
because you could still float into one.
you mean to say they set traps for thumps as such as I?
Or that's a possibility, or they could just have it set up so people who are looking down won't notice it in time.
He shrugs again with his tentacles. Very
Hard
well.
to say, really.
We're in a hall, a catacomb. Looking about us we have behind us and before us.
So, Ahmad.
Yeah.
So the thing I was muttering in the VOD,
Mhm.
would I be able to remember that now, or do I not know that yet? Because I want to use it for clues, but if my character wouldn't have any reason to know that now, I don't want to cheat.
The player knowledge, that is your conscious mind interpreting what your subconscious is experiencing. So you're not in those two aspects of your brain don't tend to.
So I can't ask you what it is, so I can't use it to cheat.
𝐂𝐸 wouldn't know. Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I'll just keep going this way.
Because the sleepwalking 𝐂𝐸 in the waking world doesn't even realize what he's doing right now.
I'm pretty sure that this structure corresponds to the keep in real life. From what I'm gathering, they have some sort of connection, and they're crossing over slightly, which is why the shadow figures show up.
Though 𝐂𝐡𝐚 did mention that it wasn't the place. Though again, that's just Mr. Guy, so you're welcome to disagree with him.
Oh, it is a place, but it isn't a place. Is the thing.
True.
It exists, but it doesn't. It has time, but it's timeless.
Of the
It's
realms
finite,
of
but it's
chaos.
infinite.
And as you're thinking these things, moving about in the catacombs, forward or back, you turn left here, you turn right there as each hallway ends. Looking around, each of these crypts are shut tight. There's no indication of decay. They're all made of some black stone that hasn't once been tampered with or opened up since their closing and placement here. They don't seem to have any sort of organization of any sort. And after what seems like hours, Flogstock kind of floats up with you. Are we lost?
Probably. But we don't exactly have an option. Either move or die. And I choose to preferably not die.
Eventually,
Based on how everything's gone so far, we're likely going to die again. It seems that each time we find a number, a new enemy pops up.
Well, if we have a head start on it this time, I'm contented to run. How about you?
I mean, I'd like to, but we haven't exactly had the opportunity to run before.
And some more hours by your own reckoning pass. Occasionally, the halls are broken up with large chambers that are nothing but 10 by 10 foot crypts with...
Also, I'd like to say whenever we come to an intersection and I want to make a mark on the ground.
Okay. So you're doing your best to thread the labyrinth, basically?
Yeah. Basically, whenever I see a mark, I add a notch next to it. Like if we cross the same mark again, it turns into a 2 instead of a 1.
In case you looped in on yourself or not.
Yeah.
Though so far, you've not seen any of your previous markings, and you've taken a winding path so far.
I mean, our only hope at this point is that the maze isn't... The catacombs aren't magically rearranging themselves, but there's a very high likelihood that it both does and doesn't have an ending.
True. Do you think the structure of these catacombs are formed based on the mind, the emotion, the memory of those who occupy it. Sort of like saying, I imagine that there will be a door on the next corner. Would there be a door?
Only one way to find out. We round to the next corner, and I see if that's true.
There is a door. It is another one
Wow.
of the archways that lead into the 10 by 10 crypt rooms that feature various coffins stacked up to the ceiling in the walls. These are
Well, this is wishful thinking, but in that case, since that worked, as it's coincidence it worked, kind of leaning towards it worked, there won't be someone who's going to kill us in there.
in this room? No, perhaps not. It's quite small, you see.
I'm not going to say perhaps. I'm going to say there will not be. If you catch my drift.
No, okay. Then he floats in. Ahead of you, again.
Let me go first.
Very well. And you step inside. This room is no different to every other room you've encountered so far since you've entered the catacombs. Empty, coated in dust, as if no one has set foot in here in years, decades, centuries. Hold on a minute. And Phlogistock floats over back to the threshold and puts a tentacle up to, like, the inside of the threshold as if feeling for something.
God, the music's timing is crazy.
Speaking of that, Phlogistock moves one of its eye stalks to look at you. Do you feel that?
I groan, not again. I prepare myself for death.
Right here, right here. And he's gesturing with one of his tentacles.
I come over and feel what he's feeling at.
So he puts with his tentacles your hand against the threshold of the arch, leading into this crypt room. You're not quite sure what he means until, after a moment, you hear a subtle vibration, or feel, and then another. Every so often, like a heartbeat. Or rather, and Phlogistock verbalizes, footsteps. There's a minotaur.
I was thinking there was going to be a heart and floorboards kind of thing.
There's a minotaur in this labyrinth, Kadash. It's getting closer.
There always is.
As you feel
That must be number 3.
the vibrations growing stronger.
I'm going to ready agonizing blasts.
You're going to ready that? I'm going to hide. And he floats up into the little inlet where one of the crypts is laying up near the ceiling.
So far, every time we've tried to run, we've died, so... Try and stand and fight this time, I guess. We're lucky this thing will be old and decrepit.
As you ready your action, you find yourself turning invisible.
Huh? Well, this is new.
You look down and you can see yourself looking down right through yourself to the floor.
Uh-oh.
Then you finally hear it without feeling the wall. The sound of footsteps. Just this boom, boom. As at the far end of the hallway, just at the edge of your vision, 60 feet away, you see a hulking figure whose entire mass takes up the entire space of the catacombs chamber. They had to be about 7-8 feet tall, at least, and they are bulked out. They are shirtless. Yeah, go ahead.
Feels like is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
And at their waist are various skulls strapped. And they have this massive raven helmet. And leaking out from the eyes of the raven is blood. And gripped in tight paws is a massive pick that is also shaped like a raven's head. Here, let me show you.
Oh boy. Well, I start blasting. Anyway, I started blasting. If I can.
You hear this, oh, and then you throw your agonizing blast with advantage.
Okay.
You're like, with effort.
Ooh, that's not gonna work.
So the blast does hit his bare naked pecs, and they just doesn't even register with him.
Oh wait, with advantage. Hold on.
Yeah, roll again. See if you hit. Yeah, because you were invisible. Well, there you go.
Nope.
Oops.
Even worse.
And you just see his footsteps.
Oh, +4. Yeah. No,
He
that's
just
the same.
he starts going as he's picking up speed and getting closer to you.
I close my eyes and accept death.
It is a horrifying fate to think of this big ass guy, 8 feet tall, just he approaches. And just,
Actually, I'm gonna try and jump out of the way. Hopefully, he'll run into the wall. Hurt himself. That'd be a deck save,
yeah.
or should I do acrobatics? Oh, it's the same, either way.
Yeah. Roll whichever you
Wait.
feel.
Was that the wrong thing?
Can you hear the
I
song?
think I rolled the wrong one. That's Constitution. Oops.
Yep.
Add 1 to that, so 13.
13. So you throw yourself out of the way as this raging juggernaut bursts into the room, and his shoulders literally shatter the archway.
X gonna give it to you.
Yeah, quite literally that. I'm not even kidding. If I wasn't playing this music already, I'd play that one, but you can't fight back against this. You're not Colossus. As he keeps going, and he just bursts through the wall behind you. And in a quick glimpse, you see tattooed across his back the Roman numeral 3.
Yep, I called it.
Phlogistok floats down. He's like, I think it's time to go!
Hey, I think you're right. I just wish I had a spell slot. Guys, expedition retreat. Let's go. And we just take off.
So you start running. And you can hear, even at this distance as you're running, left, right, turning, trying to keep your distance, where are you? And Phlogistok is just floating up with you. He cannot be fought. Ah, there he goes. Goodbye, Socks. I should post this in the thing. Oh, shit. Nah, I'll do it. He'll see it in the VOD, maybe. Anyway, you're being chased by a relentless juggernaut at the moment. And just running back and forth. And then you just hear it again. Coming up from behind you. You turn around and you see him just charging at you from behind. He's somehow found you already.
Well, he probably... I mean, judging by Minotaurs, usually he know his way better than anyone else around here. Unfortunately for us. Imagine I said that, but with a little more out of breath and urgency in my tone.
Augustok as well, he's just like, earlier, I think I made us invisible. I don't know how. My self-preservation, perhaps, brought it out of me. Up ahead!
Well, hopefully we get more than that.
You see that up ahead there's another junction to turn left or right. We say left is a door, yes?
Left is the door, yep.
Think about it hard!
I'm doing it! And then I grab his tentacle and dive to the left at the next corner.
So you dive over to the left and, yes, there is a door. Another one of those empty crypt rooms. And as you tumble onto the ground, kind of doing like a dive tuck and roll, you notice yourself invisible. And 3 barges through the wall in the direction that you were going. And you hear his footsteps receding.
I imagine in front of him there will be a pit. There's going to be a pit in front of him, right?
I hadn't thought that far ahead.
Nope, yeah, just agree with me.
Very well. And as you're there, roll stealth with advantage.
There's 1 roll. There's 2.
I think you can, like...
I don't remember.
Hold.
I think it's shift. Ah.
Yeah, you gotta hold shift.
Oh shit! Yeah! Fuck yeah! Crit.
So, you press yourself against the wall with Phlogistok, invisible, and become motionless. You're practically holding your breath as, after a few moments, you hear the footsteps boom, 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 coming back.
I think to myself, ah shit, it didn't work.
As he emerges out from the hole that he made into the wall. And he can't turn his neck, so he's just turning his full body left and right and just breathing heavily. And his massive footsteps move in your direction. He moves into the center of the room you're hiding in. And he lets out a great sigh as steam kind of exits from the outside, from the beak of his helm. And then he turns around and moves away in a different direction. What now? Phlogistok kind of whispers to you.
Well, I believe that there's gonna be a stone right here. I press part of the wall that'll open a door, and I close my eyes as I press it, hoping it'll work.
As you press your hand against the stone, it does depress, and a loud crunching noise, as if rubble is moving on rubble, echoes out through the catacombs,
Ah, shit.
and you hear those footsteps again coming back. As a door seems to open up behind you into a new chamber.
I quickly take Floggerstock and dive into it.
As you
And
go in, no,
And
go
I
ahead.
slam my hand on the wall on the other side to attempt to close the door.
Oh, this is... Sorry. The door came from nothing. It's not a true door. It's sort of like the
Okay.
wall itself receded into the ground.
Oh. So, I can imagine it's going to close or what?
As you throw yourself in, you realize you're not invisible anymore. And that
Shit.
as a Floggerstock is glowing, lighting the way for you, this room is different. There's no indents in the walls for crypts to sit upon. There's simply a large wall and a plaque.
Please be 9 somehow.
So are you going to approach the plaque?
Cautiously, but yes.
So you get closer, and it's the Roman numeral 5, and it says, "And upon the day of days it will become so all things, and its gates will devour all works of man, and also man. And all the angels and stars betimes, and the mighty works of man will be as nothing in despair, and all peoples forgot, and all empires unremembered. And all who look upon it as through the one great eye shall say, I weep now at the inevitable triumph of its ruin. For ruin it is, and ruin it brings."
Oh, that doesn't bode well.
Floggerstock has moved on from the plaque as you're reading it, and he says, "Look here, Kadash," as he gestures to further within the chamber.
I cautiously approach.
As you look at where Floggerstock is gesturing to, at the end of the dark chamber is a coffin, the only coffin in this one crypt. However, unlike every other
Wait,
coffin...
so we skipped 4,
You did.
right?
You're on 5 now. However,
Shit.
as you look at this coffin, you realize that it's unlike the rest. It is embroidered and engraved as if special care has been taken for it. There's no other coffins in this room, and it's not laying down.
Uh-oh.
It is perched up as if
Uh-oh.
the coffin is meant to stand up.
I think we found the 5th guard.
Yep, and engraved upon it, on its lid, is 5.
Floggerstock, don't touch it.
I'm afraid we're out of options. That juggernaut's on its way back, and I see no other hiding places.
Alright. I help him move the lid. Knowing it is very likely to be my death.
Okay, roll strength check as you hear the sound of his footsteps growing louder and more frequent. Can you hear the music, by the way?
Yeah,
It's really intense, holy shit.
yeah.
It's like giving me adrenaline, and I'm the one running the game. Did you strength check? I didn't. Strength
Oh,
check?
strength check? Oh,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
With advantage because Phlogislock is helping you.
Let me try. I think it's shift. Straight strength.
Yeah.
Okay. This is not gonna end well. So I have -1.
Yeah, but you have advantage.
True.
10.
10.
Okay. You're doing your best together, but you're clearly both not built. You are not jacked the same way the third is.
What if I try and use my crowbar to help?
That would also help.
Leverage.
And after some struggling, what feels like an eternity, as the steps are getting closer and closer, the lid gives just enough for you to squeeze yourself in and move the lid back, not even paying mind to the body that's within that you're sharing that space with.
Ugh.
And as you hear it clunk closed, you and Phlogislock are within this chamber together, and his fluorescent glow, he's now like a pale blue, illuminates upon another body. This one, rather nondescript by comparison.
Oh. Oh, this is either the fighter or the barbarian.
His helm has stayed on, as is most of his gear, though he does not have his axe with him. But his chest is bare, and tattooed on his arm is the Roman numeral 5. And strangely enough, near on his other arm is the Roman numeral 8, though you're not quite sure why
What?
that's there.
Cut out.
Tattooed on the opposite arm to where
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
Test, 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 test. Hello? Are you there?
Can't hear you.
You can? Hold on.
Ah, shit.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, hello, hello?
I think connection's dying.
Check, check, check. Hello,
Okay,
hello.
I can hear you now.
I think it was just loud. My bad. So you can hear me now. So,
Yeah.
he does not have his axe. His helmet has stayed on, as well as like his vestments and garments, but his torso is bare. And it is a pale, as you now are closer, you can see that it is very pale. And tattooed on his arm is the Roman numeral 5.
Strange enough, on his other arm's what?
Is the Roman numeral 8. And you also notice that on his right arm is a strange sort of spiked collar that
Was it some sort of Frankenstein guardian?
no, it seems almost like a ritualistic armband that has pierced into the flesh itself to wedge itself there. And it's on that arm that the Roman numeral 8 has been tattooed further down. It's not been done in the same style as the 5, though. It's almost as if it was done by a different hand.
Probably mine.
Phlogislock, hasn't seemed to notice as he taps on your shoulder and says, "It's a one-way window." As you kind of can turn in the way he's looking and realize that you can actually see outside of the coffin as if there's like a small slot window to peek out of.
Hiding in a locker.
Yeah, pretty much. As you see Chris Walker checking the locker, right, always checks the one right next to you and never the one you're in. As you see the third, step into this chamber. He does not run in. He walks in as if in reverence. And he looks around and he stops. His large pick lowered as if he's forgotten even where he is.
Can only hope.
He looks around, and even with like minor footsteps, you can still feel the massive weight of his feet on the ground kind of booming into the room. He moves up to the coffin and places his hand on the lid. And you think for a moment, oh, he's about to open it. But he simply places it there. And he just stands there for a moment. And his breathing slows down, and he lets out a long sigh as his head just sort of tilts down. 3, you hear another voice entering the chamber. What are you doing? As you see another figure enter into the chamber with him.
I guess it's 4.
Actually, can stream see this? No, they can't. Hold on. Just need to show them this for a minute.
I'm curious.
You see another, much smaller compared to 3's massive bulk, but very well armored figure move into the room. And gripped within one hand is a massive lance made of pure energy. And a sash is draped around the bulk of his armor that's embroidered with the Roman numeral 8.
Oh.
What are you doing, 3?
I guess he's the paladin.
And you hear 3's gruff voice come out. Intruders. Intruders, no. No, I haven't seen anything. Here in the catacombs? And as 3 kind of looks up and turns towards what you presume to be 8, his head kind of does its best to tilt in the limit of what that helmet can give for neck movement.
Yeah.
5? No, it's 8, remember? It's me. 8. 5. 5 died a long time ago, 3. This is his tomb. 5. And he moves over and just kind of embraces 8 in a bear hug. He can't quite resist. And 8 kind of taps him on the arm. Yep, that's right, buddy. It's me. It's 5. I missed you, 5. I lost you. That's all right, 3. Come on, let's go. And they exit the chamber. And as the door closes, you find yourself trapped in this room. You hear another voice coming in from the coffin that you're in. I lost everything, but remained here patiently. What do you want truly? Light, dark, or something else entirely? There is no path, and yet we seek it insatiably. Such is our fate. And your eyes grow heavy, and you wake up. The sunlight of the early morning and the sea breeze filled with salt and the sand caught in all of your clothing. You can hear the gentle breathing of Houdini in the hammock above you.
Huh? What happened? Houdini?
The Gripply is asleep. His wound is healing slowly, but he's still in need of rest.
Well, what happened to what's going on? Where's Flagstock?
You kind of look around and he's gone. But as you're wondering that same question, you feel a profound sense of comfort and warmth. Words are not communicated to you, but you just get this feeling. It's all right. I'm here with you all the time.
Did we make it out?
And there is no answer.
Don't remember.
As you kind of subconsciously are like feeling the ring on your finger. And given time to explore your thoughts, you get up, get ready for your day, fix yourself some breakfast, and as all dreams do, many of the details start to fade away.
I feel like I would have written a lot of this.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them.
I imagine you would want to, yeah. You've written it down in character.
Yeah.
But a lot of the greater
I wrote-
details of it.
Yeah, I wrote down a lot of notes in the.
Basically, all of the direct information.
Like that.
Like remembering any kind of dream, you'll always remember like the broad strokes of it, but then like the minor details are just kind of gone. Like the color of a person's hair or like how they were speaking, that kind of a thing.
I see.
In any case, you wake up along with everybody else. Everybody gets a long rest. Long rest benefits. And that's session.
That was fun.
I hope
Thanks
it was
for
fun.
the long session. Wow. I think it was a lot longer than both of us expected.
Well, we started at 2, so we went an extra hour over than we normally do,
Yeah.
but we also started later. Okay.
True, but we still didn't. You only expect like maybe like 1 hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
Anyway,
nice. It was fun.
yeah, that's how it always ends up with me is like, oh, I've got this and this plan, but then the other player gets involved and starts doing decisions as well, and it's like, ooh, we're bobbing and weaving and doing this, and it kind of goes
Yeah,
on.
I like that neither of us felt like we rushed it too fast. Like we didn't
Yeah.
try too hard to get it over with. We went with the story, enjoyed it.
Yeah. I honestly considered. I was like, yeah, let's just get through this quickly so that, we're not here all day. But then I thought about the experience I was giving, and I thought, no, this needs the weight and pacing that I'm giving it. So,
Well, I appreciate that very much.
yeah.
I think it worked very well.
So for the next game, world willing, because anything can go wrong, that would be on the 21st.
Okay,
We can make that?
think so.
Okay. And of course, let me know in the group chat if something comes up. I'd hate for you to miss it, though, because I think this would be a great follow-up session if everybody watches this VOD. But in any case, I got to go get something to eat. Paper Guide, I want to thank you so much for joining me. And I want to thank
you
anybody
for having
else. Yeah, thank you so much. I want to
And thanks to viewers like you.
Thank you to the viewers. No, to my party, to my players. Look forward to next session. To anybody who stopped to watch this, thank you so much. I am ending the recording. Stop.